So, hello and welcome back again to Stupid Boy UFC. Today, I will do a prediction of the whole fight card of UFC 300 and we will give a decision whether this fight card is good than UFC 299 or not. My earlier reaction was UFC 299 is far better than UFC 300, but let me just now assess as the days are coming in, as now the event is approaching. Let me just go through the entire fight card and let me see whether I was right that UFC 299 was better than UFC 300 or was I wrong. In the hindsight, everything is 2020. So, for me, I will try to think about my earlier decision of saying UFC 299 was better or not. So I have the whole fight card in front of me. So I know that UFC 299 doesn't have the same preliminary card as compared to the prelims in this UFC 300, because UFC 300 has great fights in the prelims, like Sadiq Yusuf versus Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez is, like many people say, that he can become champion in the featherweight division because he's so good. The debut that he has against Mosarevloev, the undefeated person, was so close. Some of the moments I thought that if the round was like 10 seconds more, maybe he would have won. So Diego Lopez is really high level. He's coach of Alexa Grasso. So Diego Lopez, Sodiq Yusuf, another tough, very tough fighter in the featherweight division. So this is a very good fight. Then Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Like Dana White said, Holly Holm. The way that he had that smirk, just like what a great fight. Because I don't say that women fight are like not like you don't watch and it's not competitive. I am not one of those person. I will just say that Holly Holm is so old. It just doesn't even make sense for her to have this spotlight near UFC 300. And it's good that it is now in prelims, because we could have had two fights in the main card, so two women fights in the main card. So now we have just one. That's the championship fight, and that's it. Like, it has to be in the main card. I mean, I would have been happy if it was like it was even like that woman fight, Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. Don't get me wrong, I like Zhang Weili because Zhang Weili is really good. But I think for me, if this fight was in the prelims, I would have been happy, because some of these fights in the prelims are actually very good. So if these fights were on the main card, I would have been very happy. Although I watch prelims, although I watch all the fight card, but for me it's like the main fights are watched by most of the people, especially the casuals, and that's how you gain some followers, for those people who fight on the main card, because prelims are not watched by all the people. So that fight, Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison, okay, let me just not say it's not very competitive fight. So I don't like it because I don't like fights based on the name. I like fights based on the level of competitiveness in the fight. The third fight is Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling, and this is a very good fight. This is actually a very good fight, and I think this fight is, you know, very good for both of them, because it's tough matchup for Calvin Kattar, but I think Calvin Kattar is dangerous enough for Aljamain Sterling to not, get a takedown just casually. I hope Aljamain Sterling learned the lesson by, getting knocked out by Sean O'Malley. Not like he was totally knocked out, but still, that takedown that he went was like literally no defense, just straight into the takedown and straight got knocked out. He saw the punch coming, so you can guess how he was just like, just trying to, like, oh, you saw the grimace in the face. So I think Aljamain Sterling will have a good chance against Calvin Kattar if he have learned the lesson. If not, then it's another knockout because you don't have the same advantages that you used to have in the bantamweight division. And the fourth fight is, and this is actually like we just only have four fights in the prelims. Is Iri Procházka versus Alexander Rakić, and I think Iri Procházka all day. I will take Iri Procházka. Although Alexander Rakić is very dangerous. He's like someone who can who can literally do all the things in martial arts. He can mix the martial arts. So I think Alexander Rakic is very dangerous, but still, Yuri Prohashka. So now let us just go to the main card, and main card is, of course, like the main attention because although this preliminary card is also filled with some champions, but for me, I would always look at the main card and just see like why the casuals will want to watch a fight card. The first fight is Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I know that UFC wants Bo Nickel to become some of a superstar or like some famous star in America because Bo Nickel has that audience from his college wrestling. I know it's a huge thing in America and all those things, but for us it's like this is just like in the main card just for that American audience. It's just no care for us. It's not only the people from those places watch martial arts, we also watch martial arts. So this fight is like for them, not for us, because it would be a good fight for us if Bonicle gets knocked out. How about that? you know Bec- I, I'm not like hating on Bonicle. Bonicle is good and he's actually a very decent person, but for me for me it is just like they're pushing someone in a way that it just feels like unnatural. So UFC 300 doesn't even sound like UFC 300 if Bonicle is on the main card. If it was someone like former champion, former champions are on the prelims and Bonicle is on the main card. It's crazy. Like Aljamain Sterling is on the prelims and Bonicle is in the main card. Jiri Procházka is in the prelims. It's crazy. Although I will watch prelims, but you know, it's just like I don't like this. I don't like this special treatment that Bonicle is getting. And then the fight. This is like the fourth fight in terms of from the main event. This is the fourth main event in consequence, I should say. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian, and I have made a prediction that Charles Oliveira will knock Arman Sarukian out, and that's me being a supporter of Charles Oliveira. But I still would say, Charles Oliveira has good chances against Arman Sarukian. Don't get me wrong, Arman Sarukian is of course like very dangerous fighter, very well rounded, striking, grappling, everything is okay. But and I believe that Arman Sarukian will become champion someday. But this is time for Charles de Bronx Oliveira again, and I want Charles Oliveira to become champion again. And then the third fight is Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway, and I've made a prediction: Max Holloway will try to knock out Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway will not. He will dominate the boxing. He will not get bothered by Justin Gaethje's power. That's not Max Holloway. Max Holloway doesn't fight scared, so he will just try to and he will style on Justin Gaethje because Justin Gaethje can become the best version of himself in terms of boxing and still get outboxed by Max Holloway because Max Holloway is literally so good when he maintains the distance. So Max Holloway for me will dominate the initial round until Justin Gaethje lands his first leg kick, and that will change the fight because I think Max Holloway uh, has a like unique type of problem dealing with leg kicks, and that was exposed by only one person, Alex Volkanovski, in the first fight. So I think if someone exposes Max Holloway, for that, I would really think that Justin Gaethje is someone like that. So and then that will lead. problem for Max Holloway and he will get knocked out. So yeah, I mean, like, it's just the same as my early prediction when this fight was made, that Max Holloway will lose. But the thing about this prediction is that it's not that Justin Gaethje will knock out Max Holloway by using his power. I think Justin Gaethje will knock out Max Holloway by just making him enough soft by kicking him too much in the legs.